This segment of the news is brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.
Equinor has dispatched a cleanup team to Grand Bahama, and the recovery effort said to be in full swing. This following that mass oil spill there during the passage of Hurricane Dorian. Area MP Peter Turnquist says Equinor has declared the area safe. Aerial footage has been released, and according to the Environment Minister, it shows the berm system is containing the oil within a certain perimeter.
As I said in the first instance, that there was the roofs blew off. And so you had oil that was wind driven. So you have a large smear. And that is challenging in and of itself to clean up. But the first priority is to stabilize the location, stabilize the source, prevent any sort of further escape, and then move outward from there.
Equinor has engaged both local and international experts to assist in the cleanup as soon as possible. Mr. Turnquist says the company's already pointed out that there's no spill on the south and north shore of the island.
They're also testing for water contamination as well as air contamination. And so far, they have been doing a decent job, as the untrained eye would have seen, and they are being responsive and providing information, certainly to the government, through the Desk Commission and the Ministry of Environment, but also to me as the Member of Parliament.
The cost of the cleanup has not yet been determined. The opposition's calling on the government to reverse its decision on who its appointed hurricane relief coordinators. Senate President Catherine Forbes Smith has been chosen to lead disaster relief efforts in Grand Bahama, and Algernon Cargill and Jack Thompson over in Abaco. But according to the opposition, not only are the appointments not in accordance with best practices, they violate constitutional norms. The Progressive Liberal Party in a release argues that the President of the Senate should not be working for the government, and that's with or without pay. Adding fuel to the fire, it charges that Mrs. Smith is already embroiled in controversy due to her links to a commercial venture in Freeport that requires government approvals. Further, that she is a known politically controversial figure when the country requires unity at this time. As for Mr. Cargill, the PLP contends the government made an equally unwise choice here. Such appointments, it argues, add an unnecessary layer to and so elevated level of bureaucracy that the process of relief and recovery will be significantly slowed down and simply spread confusion. In other news this evening, gun violence unabated here in the capital. This after another 2 shootings leave 3 dead, 2 wounded, and their killers on the loose. Still busy tying up the loose ends of Monday's early morning incident, detectives last night rushed to Fox Hill. Now, based on the account passed on to the police, a group of men was standing outside a home on Bristol Street when a silver vehicle pulled up. Reports are that the occupants opened fire, hitting 3 of the men before speeding off. Police soon discovered that 2 of them suffered non-life-threatening injuries while another died there on the scene. Fast forward to after 4 this morning, and officers headed to an apartment on Gladstone Road where they found a couple dead on the scene. The 2 had visible injuries to the body, according to officials. These latest killings come just hours after a man was fatally shot on Johnson Road. Less than 10 hours prior, 39-year-old Anthony Anton Wright suffered the same fate while standing in front of a home on 1st Street, Coconut Grove. Think back to September 9th, and 27-year-old Tashaz Cartwright was killed at a nightclub on St. Albans Drive. Friday, September 6th, a particularly bloody day following the shooting deaths of Marcus Sweeting, Dwight Miller, Jimmy Lee Augustin, and Franklin Roll. The matters are under active investigations. A case of lost in translation at the magistrate court for 55-year-old Ifna Magda Pines. The Surinese national was set to be arraigned today until it was discovered that she spoke a Creole dialect called taki-taki, a mixture of Dutch and English. Not to mention, she didn't have a consular representative from Suriname at court. With no interpreter or proper legal representation, Magistrate Andrew Forbes pushed the arraignment to Wednesday, at which time Pines will face 4 drug-related counts. That's conspiracy to possess dangerous drugs with the intent to supply, possession of dangerous drugs with the intent to supply, conspiracy to import dangerous drugs, and importation of dangerous drugs. The accused was found with 11 packs of suspected cocaine weighing 10.4 pounds, a street value of $68,000. Our final story is up next.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.